Watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a hot, steamy summer night here in New York City, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees against the Chicago White Sox in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees started the homestand last night, and they'd won 8 of their previous 9 games. And for the first 5 innings last night, looked like it was more of the same. But then Masahiro Tanaka ran into some bad luck and a big hit.
He was really sharp early. I thought Tanaka had his A game, a great splitter, and then a couple of infield hits, bases loaded. Yoan Moncada makes him pay with a booming double on the ground, but hit very hard. It's going to score 2. And then Tim Anderson, a bright young shortstop, dynamic athlete, laces that double to right. That's going to score another run, and that was it for Tanaka, who otherwise pitched very well.
All right, so that's the loss, but now time for Lowe's whole team together. Let's look at the last 21 games, 15 and 6, 5.6 runs per game. They've hit 37 homers. The starters and the bullpen have all pitched well, and as a matter of fact, 15 and 6 is the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball over that time. Only the Cardinals and the Rays have been better. Well, you can't be much better when the Yankee rookies have been, the baby bombers. Look at the numbers on Miguel Andujar, 301, 21 and 72, great OPS. Gleyber Torres, 269, 20 homers, 58 ribbies, another great OPS. The first pair of rookies in team history to hit 20 more home runs each in the same season. Never before in Yankee history has that been done, and both of them obviously have been doing the job consistently.
Well, no doubt about it. They have been the dynamic duo. They are your Rookie of the Year candidates, and it's kind of like they're fighting against themselves. Gleyber Torres, after he saw Andujar go deep, he hits the 20 home run club, 444 feet later, 2-run lead, but it didn't hold up. These two have been phenomenal for the Yankees.
Well, obviously baby bombers. This guy was a baby bomber at one point. Right now he's a dominant veteran. And we get back, Meredith Marakovich talks with Dellin Betances next.
Dellin Betances has once again been a strikeout machine. He has tallied 94 on the season. That's second best among AL relievers. Not to mention, he's just 6 away from 100. That would make him the first player in Major League Baseball history to record 100 or more in relief in 5 consecutive seasons. And he has been oh so good as of late. His last 34 outings, he is pitching to a minuscule .55 ERA. He joined me for the batting practice show earlier, where he spoke about his success this season.
I think for me, confidence is number one, but I think repeating my delivery, using both my pitches, fastballs and breaking You know, I feel like I'm not as predictable as I was last year. I think I was more breaking balls than fastballs. I think now I'm kind of, you know, 50-50. From talks with Harkey last year, he felt like if I can improve my fastball command, you know, I can be, you know, one of the more dominant relief pitchers. And, you know, it's something that I worked in the offseason and, you know, it's carried into this year.
And Betances went on to say this season he feels very good physically. At this point in the year, he is expecting a very strong stretch finish. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cone and Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Brought to you in part by the new film Operation Finale. Discover the true story of the hunt for Hitler's deadliest lieutenant in theaters tomorrow. By Subway, try a signature wrap at Subway restaurants today. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. And boy, it is summer today in the city. Hot, humid. And why don't we take a look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Is it still in the 90s? It is 91. 8 miles per hour is the wind, humidity 54%. It is hot, as that fan tells you with our fan. Anyway, the Yankees have taken the field, so why don't we take a look at the White Sox starting lineup, which is brought to you by Lexus. White Sox are 52 and 79. Yolmer Sanchez at third base leads off. Batting second, the left fielder Nicky Delmonico. Abaciel Garcia is in right field, he'll in third. Cleaning up the DH, Daniel Palka. Matt Davidson at first base, he's going to bat fifth. Batting sixth and catching, Omar Narvaez. And Tim Anderson, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing second base, Yohan Moncada. And Adam Engel, the center fielder, will bat ninth.
And there he is, Lance Lynn, the big fella, wearing a good number, going to toe that slab in the boogie down Bronx tonight. And he's been pretty good since he's come over. You know, he got touched up a little bit his last 2 starts, but professional pitcher, knows what he's doing out there. Let's go ahead and give you a little more on our pitcher scatter report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And 3 up, 2 down, you know, 3 real good starts, 2 kind of mediocre starts. He did have a whitewash against these White Sox back on August 6th, 7 1/3 with no runs and 89% fastballs. You know what's coming with this guy.
And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Pat Hoberg, the home plate umpire. Brian Knight at first. Chad Whitson at second. The crew chief, Mark Carlson, is at third. Oh, 0-2.
To your point, Coney, his fastball, he'll sink it, he'll cut it, and he'll throw a 4-seamer. And he threw so many of them. His start in Miami, who Michael and I, we called that game, reminded me a lot of Tanaka last night. He was dominating for like 4 innings, and then, you know, Lingo had a 1-run lead and then ended up having a big inning. It kind of, you know, you forgot about the front part of the game because he threw the ball very well.
Yeah, it was 2 starts ago where he gave up the first inning runs and then settled down, and then just the opposite in his last start. You know, those are the starts that bother you. You know, we showed that shot at Tanaka. Boy, he really had good stuff early. He had his good splitter. That one inning just kind of got away from him a little bit. But good stuff last night.
Going to be interesting to see how Lynn handles the weather. He seems to sweat profusely on the mound, and actually told Ryan Rucco and CC Sabathia that he wears like a sweat top all the time so he can sweat a lot so it doesn't seem as hot when he's on the mound. But he's always wiping his hand on the side of his leg, and the sweat is an issue, but it certainly has not derailed him. And if you're out on the field tonight, you were going to sweat.
Walking across the field today, you were going to sweat. It'll cool off as the night goes on, but boy, I tell you what, it was summer today.
2-2. Soft ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Torres. Over to Bird, who drops the ball. That's going to be an E3. Just simply drop the ball as Sanchez reaches.
I'll tell you one thing, Coney, when it rains, it pours, and Greg Bird is going through a tough time right now. Offensively, defensively, he's got to stay mentally tough and know that it's got to get better. Just absolutely came out of his glove. You little chap right now, you're pitching, Coney?
You hit him in a bad spot.
Right in the middle of the glove.
Wow. Yeah, it certainly was. Here is Delmonico. So coming into the game 0 for his last 17, not enough. Now he picks up an E3. And as you said, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, there's a spot right above the pocket that's the perfect place to catch the ball. And sometimes when you get too much of the pocket, it can pop like that. But it looked like he just, you know, he just was sure he was going to catch it.
Do you take your struggles into the field, Paul?
Well, it can happen. There's no doubt about it. I think it happened with Gary Sanchez earlier in the year, and it just you know, it takes you away from. There are two sides of the line, offensively and defensively, and it certainly can kind of creep in one way or the other.
Delmonico with a fly ball to shallow center, and the catch is made by Hicks for the first out. Take a look at the defense for the Yankees, presented by Geico. We've got Gardner in left, Hicks in center, and Stanton over in right. Infield and Duhar, Torres, Torres, and Bird third to first. Romine back behind the plate, and on the mound is Lance Lynn.
You know, that's an interesting question you asked, Michael, and you can take it two ways. I mean, it does creep into your defense when you're really struggling, or you get to the point where you get so mad out there that you're just like, you know, I'm taking every single hit away that I can. I can't get a hit. Nobody's getting a hit. And, you know, there are two sides of it. Some guys really struggle both sides, or, you know, you can get in a defensive slump just like you can an offensive slump.
(0-1) on Garcia. On 3 games against the White Sox, Lance Lynn 2-1, 2.95. Great start against the White Sox in Chicago for the Yankees, where he went 7 1/3. One and two.
That was really his first Yankee start, right? He came out of the bullpen for Sonny Gray, and then I think he made his first legitimate start for the Yankees in Chicago. Threw the ball really, really well.
Yeah, he pitched 4 1/3 in relief of Sonny Gray on August 1st, and then into the rotation on August 6th. And that was the White Sox game. Runner goes. Big jump. Swing and a miss. Garcia down on strikes. Stolen base. No throw for Sanchez.
Well, every once in a while, as a base stealer, you know, the previous pitches, you time. And if it continually is the same time, you go on that time. And that's right where he caught him with his leg coming up. Easy steal. almost embarrassing when it. I mean, it happens, but it's almost embarrassing if you're pitching when that happens.
Yeah, you're getting taken advantage of there. You know, as a base runner, you better be sure, because you're going to get picked off if you leave that early.
Here's Palka. 1-0. Two and 0. Just underway in Boston, the Marlins and the Red Sox tonight. We'll follow that one as we move along. Two and 1. Foul back, 2-2.
You see two different style of pitching here, Coney, and we talked a lot last night how the White Sox look like dead fastball hitters, and you know, you had a ton of swing and misses last night with Tanaka and his split-fingered fastball. Being that Lynn's a fastball pitcher, you're seeing a lot of balls fouled off, a lot of pitches that aren't swing and misses.
Swing and a miss.
See that?
Called it. No runs, no hits, one error, one man left on base. White Sox nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. It's brought to you by Lexus. The left fielder is Brett Gardner. He'll lead off. Batting second, the right fielder, Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron Hicks in center will hit third. Cleaning up third baseman, rookie Miguel Andujar. Luke Voigt, if the start against the righty, he'll DH tonight. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, the shortstop Gleyber Torres has been hot in his last 9 games. Greg Bird at first base will bat seventh. Batting eighth, the catcher Austin Romine. And Ronald Torreyes at second base is going to bat ninth.
And here is James Shields, an old friend of the Yankees, back to his Tampa Bay days. You can see on the season, it's been a bit of a slog for him, 5-15 and a 4.5+ ERA. And let's go ahead and tell you a little bit more in our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He does answer the bell. This is his 28th start of the season. It's tied for the MLB lead with Verlander, Scherzer, and Chachin, and falling behind first pitch strike percentage. You know, that's always the key for pitchers. 8th lowest in MLB, 5th lowest at 57% in the AL. And the bad recipe is the 8th highest fly ball percentage in Major League Baseball and the 4th highest pull percentage, and that leads to home runs. 26 home runs given up. That's 6th most in the majors.
Pitch to Gardner way outside.
Long fly balls usually cost you runs, don't they, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, he's always kind of profiled as a fly ball pitcher, but when you start factoring in falling behind and then a lot of pulled action, those are the ones that the hitters look for, as you know. You get the helmet out, drive the ball.
Grounded to first. Foul ball. Grabbed in foul territory by Davidson. Shields' 13th big league season, and he is in the final year of a 4-year, $75 million contract that was signed with the Padres. There's a $16 million team option for 2019. In all likelihood, the White Sox will not pick that up. Two and two. Fly ball left field. Delmonico. One away. Let's take a look at the White Sox defense presented by Geico. Well, we've seen Delmonico on left, so we'll start there. Angle, he is an expert at robbing home runs. He's in center. Garcia over and right. Infield, Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, and Davidson third to first. Narvaez is behind the plate, and Shields is on the mound. Here's Stanton. Driven into center field. Angle slips, regains, and makes the play.
Well, I'll tell you what, you don't know how hard this play is, because soon as you slip and fall, you kind of lose sight of the ball, and then as you get up, it is a rush to find it. Well, we talked about what a good center fielder he is. Once you lose footing, boy, that becomes a difficult play.
Comes up limping a little after this as well. It looked like he tweaked his knee. But you are right, Paul. That is a nice recovery.
Where's the caddy, Coney? We need somebody to replace the divots out there.
The sand bucket. Pour a little sand in it.
Here's Aaron Hicks as a White Sox shift for him. Three infielders on the right side. 1-0. I'm not familiar with golf etiquette, so the caddy replaces the divot, not the golfer?
Yeah, usually. A lot of places you just, as Coney said, you just drop sand in it. If you take a big old slab out of there, you just throw the grass.
If you play at a club that has a caddy that you're going to pay the money for, then yeah, he'll clean it up. He'll clean it up for you.
They got to do something for you, right?
Aren't they carrying your bag?
Yeah.
Giving you all the clubs out of the right ones?
Well, that sometimes is wrong. Just give me a good putt read. That's all.
Three and one. On deck is Andujar. And Hicks works a walk, and he has become a walking machine for the Yankees.
When I look at his numbers, his power, you know, he's career high in home runs, but to me could be into that 280 guy, the 285 guy, because he does walk so much and he doesn't really swing at a lot of bad pitches. Good solid player. You just look at him as being able to get just a little bit better every single year.
Pitch outside to Andujar.
That's a good point about Hicks. He almost profiles as a really good leadoff guy nowadays. He has led off for Aaron Boone this year several times, especially against left-handed pitching.
And you know, by sight, you really wouldn't think of it. He has great speed too. I mean, he runs the bases well. Really good outfielder. Great arm.
And you really have to give credit to the Yankee front office. They got him for John Ryan Murphy from the Twins. And he really struggled at the beginning, and they just said that it's there. We know it's there. Grounded sharply in the hole, backhanded by Anderson. He throws to first. He'll get Andujar for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. We've played one in the Bronx. 0-0 here on Yes. Of the New York Yankees, what did you think about Aaron Boone's demeanor in last night's post-game press conference? B. Nevins 09 said sometimes the team needs to know that the manager acknowledges that there was sloppy play. He does it infrequently, so it should carry weight with the players. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid. Keep the conversation going. I don't quite understand the question nor the response where people want the manager of the team to throw chum over the boat so they could be happy that he's upset. How do you know what he's saying to the players?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Joe Torre was the best to sugarcoat it to the press, but boy, you knew it as a player. And you know, I heard your radio show today, and I agree with you 100%. I mean, Aaron Boone to me has done a great job coming into an organization that's expected to win. His demeanor is pretty much the same every day.
Which is what they want.
That's exactly what you want as a player. I mean, there are managers that won't speak to you if you're not playing well. And there's managers that you can feel that it's a big game because they're tight. I think Aaron Boone has done a good job so far with the Yankees.
And you know, for the record, during the press conference, he acknowledged that they played sloppy. He wasn't happy with the way they played. He didn't yell. He didn't have any histrionics. That's just not his way, and that's one of the reasons that he was hired, because they felt that the message that was getting out to the public was not what they wanted. So he's going to be even keel all the time.
He's done exactly what they asked him to do, and that's why he aced the managerial interviews, which is no small thing.
Davidson wraps one to right field. Going back is Stanton, and he can't make the play. It goes off of his glove as he hits the wall. He'll play the carom and flip it back in. Davidson with a double.
Well, you see, he's a little frustrated. I mean, he did everything perfect, got a great jump, timed it well, and then didn't squeeze it. Again, the heels of the gloves are out tonight, Coney. The pockets are closed. A ball that, you know, if you ask him, that most of the time he'll catch.
Well, see, I've heard you say this before, and I didn't play right field, obviously, but when you're running from top speed like that, your head kind of starts bobbing a little bit, and maybe
it certainly does in the ball.
Stuck his glove up a little too high, maybe.
Once in a while, the last thought you have is, where is that wall? And it's just you kind of gimp the, you know, the attempt to catch it, and it just doesn't quite hit the pocket.
Narvaez fouls it off, count 0-1. Almost since the beginning of June, Narvaez hitting .366, actually starting on June 7th, his hot streak.
Talking about him last night, how he pretty much hits line to line, which makes him a tough out. Huge strikeout last night Tanaka got, but other than that, boy, he put together some good at-bats.
Soft ground ball to first. Bird is there. He'll step on the bag. Moving to third is Davidson.
We talked about it last night, Coney. Obviously, he got the job done, but the one place that it looks like you can get in, because he kind of steps across his body, which kind of closes him off to the inside pitch. And good pitching by Lynn to get in there and jam him. He's put himself in an opportunity to try to save a run here.
Infield comes in. Anderson has a 6-game hitting streak. He's in his 3rd big league season, and the White Sox saw something right away, and they signed him to a long-term deal in the 2nd year of a 6-year, $25 million extension. Team options for 2023 and 2024. He was a White Sox 1st-round draft pick in 2013, 17th overall pick. In that draft, the Yankees took Aaron Judge with the 32nd pick of the draft.
I'll tell you what, we've watched, 10 innings so far in this series. He's made some great defensive plays. He's shown his speed. He's had some good swings, so he's shown a lot in the short time we've seen him.
Speed and power, good defense. The last piece of the puzzle for him is just controlling the strike zone. Just 27 walks this year against 120 strikeouts, and that's just needs to be reversed a little bit to get his on-base percentage up.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Lynn as Anderson down on strikes. 3rd strikeout for the Yankee righty.
You know, to me, that's a veteran pitcher knowing that a young hitter is going to go outside of the strike zone. This ball, a sinker that started at the knees, is going to end up. Good job by Lynn. Big strikeout.
The high-quality 2-seam fastball. You see the grip right there. Another look, kind of corkscrew spin on Yesmo, and brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. That's classic 2-seam kind of sinking spin.
Here is Moncada. And a strike. Runner at third with 2 outs. The infield, of course, backs up. Slice foul.
Ooh. Well, in the old days, without the nets and the railing, that would have been ricocheting around in that dugout.
One and two.
Such a good pitch there. Everything been down, down, down. All of a sudden, sail one up out of the strike zone. Kind of opens up the whole strike zone to a hitter now.
Fly ball right field. Stanton puts it away. And the Yankees survive the leadoff double. No runs a hit and 1 man left. Let's go to the bottom of the 2nd.
Well, give me 5. Leonard Skinner said, give me 3 steps. Let me give you 5, Michael. 563 average during this 5-game hitting streak. And the right stuff. Last night we saw a lot of swings where he looks like he's trying to use the right field porch in Yankee Stadium. And Voit fills the void. I mean, Yankees first base are in the bottom 5 in the majors, batting average and OBP. So you need some offense. And the last weekend shows that there is promise there. He had a big weekend against the Orioles.
Pitch is high, 1-0. Take a look at what he did in BP. Watch this shot. Crushes this pitch into Judge Stanton territory.
Wow.
Wow is right. One and one.
It really goes back further than that, Paul. And since 2016, really since Mark Teixeira left the Yankees, they've been dead last in first base production. Dead last in the major leagues. A negative 0.9 WAR. The Yankees, then the Phillies, Mets, Rockies, and Mariners. Yankees at the bottom of the list. Another look on a wide view of where he hit that BP home run.
Your Yankee fans are so used to just, you look back with Mattingly, Tino Martinez, and Mark Teixeira that were defensive wizards and power hitters and run producers, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's kind of been the black hole over there as far as with Bird with his injuries and just finding somebody to put up some offense.
Voit with a big cut, swings and misses.
Shields expanding down and out of the zone. A really good executed slider there. Right over the heart of the plate, then disappearing down.
Here's Torres. Oh and 1. Hit one 444 feet last night for the Yankees runs. A 2-run home run into Monument Park. 0-2 on Torres. He's got 20 home runs at the age of 21. And you see the names that he's involved with there. Mantle did it twice at 20 and 21. And DiMaggio hit 29 at the age of 21 in 1936. Now, Joe DiMaggio really kept to himself, but on Old Timers Day in the old stadium, they would dress in the same locker room, and it was kind of close to where you dressed. Did you ever have any substantive conversations with him?
Not about hitting, talked about, being a Yankee and things like that, but you're kind of starstruck, believe me. It's very hard. She was dropping down there with a different arm angle, but, you really could ask me what the conversation was about 5 seconds after, and I probably couldn't tell you because you were so in awe. This is Joe DiMaggio talking to you, and he had his suit and tie on, and just neat stuff.
3-2. Just the fact that he knew you, I would think, would be a big kick, right?
Exactly, yeah. Hurry up, put your uniform on, so you figured you wanted a bat boy or something.
Joe's monument out there, Monument Park.
Yeah, he wasn't the type of guy you just start a conversation with. Hey, Joe, how was Maryland?
Yeah. Because you'd love to know, Cody, right?
That's what I'm dying to ask him that. What was Marilyn Monroe like? No, you didn't do that with him.
There were the superstars, and you talk about the different personalities where Joe DiMaggio, you kind of just looked at in awe, where Mickey Mantle would, he had that demeanor where you would want to talk because he'd smile and shake your head. Whitey Ford the same way. And Yogi Berra would start the conversation, and end it. I mean, it was just, I mean, those icons were unbelievable to sit down and have conversations with.
0-1 count on Greg Bird. Bird hitting 199. Hitless in his last 17 at bats. Sat down yesterday against the lefty Rodon. 1-1. Bottom of the second inning, 0-0. Yankees have had a walk in this game against Shields by Hicks in the first inning with 2 outs. 2-1.
Yeah, Torres' line drive about 98 miles an hour off his bat. Right at the third baseman. Is that water cooler time for you, Paul?
Oh.
That bother you more than anything?
I think so. I mean, it's just because you know what? Another thing is it's your first at bat of the night. So it's like, all right, so it's going to be like this, huh?
And the 2-2. Fly ball, right field, deep, going back. Garcia leaps, and he makes the play. So he takes an extra base hit away from Bird as the Yankees go down in order, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to the third inning. 0-0 here on Yes. City than any other airline. Good things come to those who go. Delta, keep climbing. And by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. All right, we will go to the third inning here at the stadium. And Lance Lynn will face 9-1-2 in Chicago's order. Starting with Adam Engel.
If you learned anything from last night's game, you saw the speed of Engel. Anytime an infielder has to go right or left, well, you better get rid of the ball quick. He gets down the line. It's a lot of pressure on the defense.
Shows bunt, takes a strike.
Yeah, he was clocked at about 3.8 down the line for a right-handed batter. I mean, that Ichiro used to have those numbers in his prime from batting from the left side and getting a running start. We talked about Miguel Andujar not getting rid of it quick enough. Well, 3.8 down the line, 3.84 down the line, Engel last night.
Now, in Lynn's previous start, it was in Miami, and the guys talked about it. He looked good early. They really pushed it because of bullpen issues and had him pitch into the 100-pitch mark. But during that game, Paul and I did the game with Al Leiter. He said, David, although he features the fastball, pounds his own with it, he said he would really be better served. He would mix in something off speed, get everybody off his fastball. Do you see that?
Well, he throws two different kinds of fastballs, so it's not, generally speaking, I would say absolutely. You know, El Duque used his curveball so effectively early in the count, especially the left-handed batters, to get it over. When you need a strike, get me back in the count, get me ahead in the count. You know, that would be a good pitch for him to use here and there. But he has such a good featured two-seam, four-seam combo, and then the cutter off of that that's almost like a slider. So it's a little bit misleading to say that he throws 88% fastballs. His cutter's more slider-like, but his two-seam, four-seam combo is really good.
Grounded up the middle. Gleyber Torres gloves, 360 fires and gets the speedy angle. That is not an easy play when you consider who's running.
I know he has made some careless errors, but boy, just how smooth he is when on certain plays you see. He's going to be a very gifted infielder. I mean, he can do a lot of things out there defensively as well as offensively.
It's a great skill set. Gleyber's got the gift. He's got all the moves out there. Moves like Jagger.
Wow. Coney back in the music groups. There is a gift, Coney, as you said, that some infielders, everything looks smooth and there's no jab toward the baseball. And they just, you know, it's an old cliche of having soft hands. There are some infielders, it just seems like, you know, they're always kind of reaching toward it, and you see it, just nothing soft about it. But Torres is one of those guys, it just looks really smooth defensively.
Stays low to the ground. He doesn't raise up and then go get the ball like a Hoover. Just back and forth. And you're right, he's 21. He's made some errors.
That one is punched through the left side, a base hit for Sanchez. One out single. And that'll bring up Nicky Delmonico.
You know, if you think about it, Michael and Coney, you've had Andujar and Gleyber Torres, and it almost kind of reminds me back when Winfield and Mattingly were kind of friendly as teammates fighting for the batting championship. Because these guys, one of them is going to be Rookie of the Year. Whoever gets hot at the end. I mean, they're 1, 2 in offensive categories up and down the list. But good friends. You know, obviously what happens out on the field, win, loss, is more important at this point. But you know, when it's all said and done at the end of the year, one of those guys is going to be holding the trophy.
Yeah, that one went down to the wire, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Last day, wasn't it, Michael? The batting title.
Yep.
Well, Michael, Aaron Judge was actually speaking in the clubhouse today, and somebody said to him, who do you like in the Rookie of the Year category? And he said at first when Gleyber Torres came up, he thought he would absolutely run away with it. But with the way Miguel Andujar has been playing, he said he's certainly keeping a close eye on him. His offensive production has been second to none, but noted there's still a lot of time left in this season, a full month, anything could happen. Then somebody said, what about Ohtani? And Judge just kind of smiled. It's clear he is pulling for his guys. As far as those two playing together, Torres was asked about that last night, and he said, we have a great relationship. We've known each other from the minors. We've played in the infield for a long time together, and we really push each other to continue to try to get better. And when you look at some of the early work, the two guys that are mainly out there, Torres, Andujar, and now with Ronald Torreyes back up, he's out there an awful lot too.
You know, Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic makes the case for Ohtani. Not saying he's going to win it, but certainly that he should be considered. Now, if you look at WAR, wins above replacement, according to Fangraphs, Ohtani's at a 2.9. 1.8 as a position player, 1.1 as a pitcher. Andujar is at 2.3. And Ohtani was out about a month with the elbow issues from June 8th to July 3rd. So he's going to be in the conversation.
Yeah, you know, and WAR is a metric that it's to try to come up with one figure, one number that encompasses all the baseball skills, defense, offense, base running. There's no doubt Miguel Andujar has been the best offensive player.
Ground ball to Andujar, and he kicks it, and that'll allow Garcia to reach. And that's an E5, so the Yankees with their second error of the night, keeping this inning alive.
You know, this play starts with the right decision. You know, he can't wait back on this hop, so you kind of gauge it, come on in. Very difficult play just because it's chopped, but if you wait back on this ball, you're going to get nobody anyway.
The defensive metrics have not been kind to Miguel Andujar this year, even though those metrics are a little noisy. You know, they're volatile unless you get a large sample size of them, but no doubt room to improve there. But swinging the bat, he's the best rookie hitter this year.
And he also has 488 plate appearances coming into tonight. Ohtani 261. And Ohtani is a DH. So a lot of those things will be taken into consideration.
Now, Ohtani with a full year.
Yeah.
Well, he's had some impressive offensive numbers as well. It's a good debate.
Palka struck out in the first inning with a runner on second and 2 outs. Now there's runners on first and second and 2 outs.
Well, Palka's had kind of a breakout year, obviously being called off waivers if you look at the Rookie of the Year contenders. I'll tell you what, offensively, Coney, you've said it. I mean, there's no doubt.
Palka's a rookie too.
A scare last night, and hitting the hand, Tanaka up and in.
And a walk to Palka to load the bases.
It's almost like a veteran pitcher didn't want any part of that left-handed power hitter, that young kid, Palka. He just kind of let him go. He likes the platoon advantage here with Davidson, even though Davidson's got some pop in his bat. Prone to striking out more. Let's see how Lynn goes after him.
Inside. You know, even if runs don't score on errors, you're making Lynn throw extra pitches. In the first inning, he had to face a batter he would not have faced. In this inning now, it's turning out that he's going to have to face 2 batters that he would not have had to face. So again, if you pick up your fielder, that's cool, but you are taking pitches away in a game where pitches are closely monitored. Yesterday, 3 errors by the Yankees. Today, 2, and we're in the 3rd inning. There's a strike, 2-1.
You see the difference in the velocity of the four-seam fastball at like 95, 96, where, you know, his sinking fastball, 92, 93. So you can kind of play along at home. Cutter usually, what, 92, 93, Coney?
Yeah, his cutter's probably a little lower than that at times, depending on how big the break is.
So now he's got himself in a 3-1 count with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Ground ball is short. And they get the force, and that'll do it. So again, Lynn works out of trouble. No runs to hit. 1 big error, and the bases are left loaded. The hottest collectibles of the season. It's Brett Gardner Bobblehead Night, the fourth and final one in the 2018 Collectible Series presented by AT&T for the first 18,000 guests in attendance. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. And there's Brett just hanging out on my scorecard. Kind of looks like him a little bit.
Long home run he's hit. You know, he's been posing like that for a week. Ball still hadn't come down.
It's the game the way it's played now. Romine wraps one to left field. It's a base hit as he singles on the first pitch. So here's Torreyes.
Chance for the Yankees to have a real momentum shift. This is baseball's version, right? And bases loaded, make or break. Lynn falls down, gets the ground ball, gets out of it. Romine leadoff hit. So the Yankees with a chance to completely reverse the momentum.
Oh, and 2.
New version I haven't seen with Shields. Kind of the drop down sidearm. Second time we've seen it tonight.
He's 36 years old now. Tonight is James Shields' 400th career start. It's a lot. Well liked wherever he's been. Considered a leader. Pitched very well in Tampa. San Diego signed him to that big deal Michael referenced earlier.
And Torreyes goes down on strikes.
You're going to drop down, you got to throw a fastball too down there, and you can see that's what that was. Torreyes probably thinking it's going to be off speed, and he just kind of slings that sinker in there. The point before the trade deadline was Shields really had a pretty good June, and there was talk about some contenders targeting him for a potential deadline pickup.
Guy's been there before, pitched in a lot of big games, so would have made sense.
Average ERA for major league starters this year right around 4.2, between 4.2 and 4.3, and Shields just a tick or two above that. Kind of bottomed out for James Shields back in 2016. That's when the White Sox traded for him from San Diego. He split it up. He gave up 40 home runs that year, 33 starts. Speaking from experience, later in my career, that's usually what happens. You could cruise along for 2 or 3 innings. You remember in 2000 when I kind of bottomed out, it seemed like 3 or 4 innings would go on and then boom, 3-run homer. You know, and the wheels would just fall off.
Breaking balls or fastballs usually?
A lot of hanging sliders.
Yeah.
It was that one big inning you couldn't stay away from. It's kind of been James Shields' story the last couple of years, although, as I said before, he had it going before the trade deadline a little bit.
And Gardner down on strikes. Well, home runs allowed. You've got Dylan Bundy giving up 34, Cologne 29, Verlander 27, Shields and Junis each with 26.
Now, there's one name on that list that really stands out that you wouldn't think is Justin Verlander. Up 27 home runs. As dominant as he can be.
The key is what variety they are. Are they solos or 3-run shots?
Since 299, he's been struggling. 5 hits and 32 at bats. That's a 156 average. So it's been 42 plate appearances since his last home run. All of the right side of the infield is open with Davidson holding on Romine. And that one gets away. And Romine will stop at second. That'll be a wild pitch.
Well, we've seen both sliders and fastballs from the sidearm angle. This one just races down off the plate. And as a catcher, you don't think the fastball is going to get that low, and that's why he didn't get down to block it. Tried to pick it.
See if they green light Stanton. 3-0. On deck is Hicks. Strike.
Shields, all of a sudden, the majority of the pitches in this third inning have been from the side, especially to the righties. He actually broke it out to the lefties, too.
And the 3-1. Grounded to third. Sanchez fires across the diamond, and that will do it here in the third. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. 3 in the books. Nothing. At Bank, both have gone to 3, and both have not allowed a run. Both have walked 1 and struck out 3. 2 hits for Lynn. James Shields has allowed 1. That's where we are as we go to the 4th inning. Audi scoreboard, nothing. Here's Narvaez. And there's a strike. He grounded out to first. That was in the 2nd. Grounded to first, then foul.
Continue to pound him inside as he steps across his body. It makes it very difficult as a hitter to get to that ball inside. Watch his front foot almost comes out of the batter's box, stepping almost towards his shortstop.
One and 2. Narvaez spent 5 seasons in Tampa Bay's minor league system, selected by the White Sox in the Rule 5 draft in 2015. Wraps that one to right field, and Stanton will play it on a hop.
Kind of cuts himself off, but he stays through that ball. Even though the ball jammed him, he stays level through the strike zone. He's able to jam shot this to right field.
And you see that ball was down. Easier for a lefty to kind of drop the barrel on it. Like you said, sliders moving into him or up and in, probably a better choice.
Tim Anderson takes a strike from Lynn. Two.
Yeah, we got into this a little bit last night, Paul, and certainly the Yankee fan base, you think, you look at this part of the schedule, you got to beat the White Sox, you got to take advantage. It's a big league team.
Yeah, they're a dangerous team right now because they're playing much better than their record shows.
Carlos Rodon had a good game. He's a quality left-handed pitcher.
You know, and you look at the Rays down in Tampa right now. I mean, they're a better team than their record shows. And, you know, here they just swept the Boston Red Sox, beat 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. So a lot depends on when you face teams. And right now the White Sox playing as good as they've played all year. 4 in a row, right?
They've won 10 of 13. And they've done very well on the road, too, of late, as Anderson goes down on strikes for the 2nd time. So these are the stats that go with the 10-3 mark. And they pitched well. Since August 2nd, they're 15-9. And they've won 10 of their last 12 on the road. So yeah, their record is 52-79, but they're playing a little bit better than a 52-79 team.
And some growing young prospects that are getting more reps and seem to be getting better.
Moncada takes a strike.
And more on the way.
Yeah. And we talked about their minor leagues last night on how stacked they are. I think they were rated 3rd in all of baseball. So the rebuild should be a fun time in Chicago.
Chop to short. There's one. Not in time on the return. So that is a 6-4 force. Moncada reaches on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, that's what makes the Yankee fan base so good. They're so passionate. See Torres, make sure you get one. To Torres, no real chance here. Good shot on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. But yeah, so you know, you got to win this game. Every game's a must-win. How can we lose to the White Sox? You know, we got to take these games. You know, and like you said last night, a lot of that's because the Red Sox are on a historic pace. And this is the big leagues. These are big league ball players. Anything can happen on any night.
Really, the worst teams in baseball are going to win 60 games a year.
You look at that inning for Tanaka. Tanaka was as sharp as I've seen him early in that game.
Split fingers as good as it's been all year, huh?
Couple infield hits. When you bunch the hits together and the bad luck happens all at once, that's what happened to him. Really, just that one bad pitch, and it was a ground ball. Moncada smoked it into the gap. The ground ball almost reached the 385 mark. That shows you how hard it was hit.
0-2 on angle.
So that's not to be trying to make excuses. It just is. This is reality on the ground.
Well, in one weekend, Adam Engel in center field robbed Greg Bird of a home run and then Kyle Higashioka. And during Players Weekend, the name on the back of his uniform was Man of Steel, S-T-E-A-L. And his wife was a big fan of Superman, so it worked both ways for him. 1-2. Still 1-2.
Always tougher when you have a sloppy game, when you make errors. You know, those are the ones. I think Aaron Boone mentioned it, and that was part of our question tonight from the studio in Stanford.
Swing and a miss. Engel down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. In dealers, most players with 20 or more home runs on a team. The Yankees have 6 of them, well ahead of every other team. The Indians, Rockies, Athletics, and Mariners each with 4. And if Gary Sanchez comes back and has a hot September, it could be 7. And here's one of the 6, Aaron Hicks. It'll be Hicks and Duhar and Voit. Audi scoreboard, 0-0. 1-0. Hicks walked. That was in the first inning. Hicks's walk in the first was his 72nd of the year, and he might be the poster child for you can't really pay that much mind to a batting average. So his batting average is .251, but he has 72 walks, hit by pitch 3 times, 5 sac flies, and 2 sac hits. So his on-base percentage is .367, slugging percentage .465, and I was talking to James Smythe, who educates all of us, and he said when you just look at batting average, you're almost ignoring 90 plate appearances he had that have been productive. And also the thing that batting average doesn't give you, singles worth the same as a home run. So really, how indicative is of that, of what you really want in today's game?
I'll tell you one thing, if you're Aaron Hicks and you just had your last at bat, you're wondering, what is Davidson standing on the line?
And Duhar with a high pop up to shallow center. Angles there to make the play.
First pitch swinging from Miggy. And you're right, off of Hicks. That had double written all over it down the line.
I mean, right down the line in the 4th inning. You're not guarding the line. Hicks standing right there.
We've seen Miguel Andujar be uber aggressive all year long.
There's Luke Voigt. He struck out in the second. There's a strike, 0-1. Hit sharply to third. Sanchez there across the diamond. And 6 in a row retired by James Shields. We're going to the 5th. The way the American League East shakes out, Yankees are 6 back of the Red Sox in the loss column, 6.5 in the standings. Rays having a good year, 9 games over 500 in what was supposed to be a full rebuild. The Blue Jays and the Orioles at the bottom. 0-0 as we go to the 5th inning. Top of the White Sox order. Here's Yolmer Sanchez. And there's a strike. GMC scoreboard 0-3-0 and 0-1-2.
Connie, nothing's changed, man. Still continues to pump that fastball in there and challenge hitters. Like the old-fashioned hard ball back in the backyard where there were no breaking balls involved. Go up there. If he got you out, he got you out. It was fastball, fastball, fastball.
Soft ground ball, second. Torres charges and gets Sanchez.
Now, you bring up a good point, Paul, and people talk about the style of play nowadays. And when you and I first came up, I remember I threw Mike Schmidt, the Hall of Famer, a 3-1 curveball with a 6-0 lead, and he was going to just kill me. I mean, he wanted to pick me up and break me like a toothpick over his knee. He screamed at me all the way up the first base line. Names that I cannot repeat right now. But there was a style of play where you're right. You did challenge hitters. You threw fastballs. Before the days of tricking people all the time, which is just different. I mean, it was just a different style of play. There weren't 2 to 3 minutes of commercials in between innings either.
Yeah, and you know, we just put the stat up there. There weren't 6 or 7 guys on teams with 20 home runs either. So,
exactly.
You would challenge guys, and what was the worst they were going to do? Hit a line drive to left field? It was just like a walk. So, the game has changed in that sense. It's so many people hit home runs. It's hard as a pitcher to challenge in fastball situations.
I see the pitching. It's so good nowadays, especially the relievers. Everybody throwing 90 to 100. Front door, back door, gyro balls. I mean, they've got everything now. Pitches that you didn't even think about throwing back in the 70s.
Line drive, a base hit off the bat of Delmonico. So he reaches on a 1-out single.
I see some of the best young players I've ever seen into the game this year.
Oh, yeah.
Soto and with the Nationals, a young kid, 19, fantastic.
Cunha's
wow. Unbelievable. So much good young talent. That's not even to mention Mike Trout, who's only 26, 25 years old. Of course, the Yankees, and then Andujar and Torres. I see a lot to be excited about with the talent level. And some of the relief pitchers nowadays, wow, incredible. The Oakland A's bullpen this year. Now, if you were Dave Winfield and Don Mattingly, you were going to face one pitcher 3-4 times, a starter. Now they're going to face 4 different pitchers sometimes.
Ground ball past the diving Andujar and into the left field corner. Delmonico rounding third. They're waving him home. He will score. It's an RBI double for Garcia. The first run of the game. White Sox lead 1-0.
It seems like the White Sox are putting pressure on the Yankees every inning. Two-seamer kind of stays up a little bit. Garcia gets a good swing at it. Just hooks it down the line. Just out of the reach of Andujar.
Looks like Gardner had a little problem down here in the corner as well. Just a little bit of a bobble there, and that's all Delmonico needed right there to go ahead and score. Otherwise, it might have been second and third with 1 out.
And here's Palka. A 1-0. Fly ball left field. And the catch is made by Gardner. 2 outs.
Again, Coney, in these 1-run games, 0-0, 1-0, so important to to save those runs. Lynn has an opportunity right here to save one. Give his offense a chance to try to get back and score some runs. I mean, the Yankee offense has been shut down so far in this series.
Davidson takes low, 1-0. One and one on Davidson. Davidson doubled in the second and grounded to short. A force at second. That was in the third. 1-0. White Sox lead. Yankees have just one hit. White Sox have 5 and a run. Two and one.
Pitch number 85 coming from Lance Lynn. 54 strikes, 30 balls.
Two and two.
It's been his most effective pitch tonight. That two-seamer in on righties. I tell you what, you started on the inner half and let it run in off the plate.
Grounded and grabbed by Andujar. Gets to his feet, fires, and that'll do it here in the 5th. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left. We're halfway through. White Sox lead this one 1-0.
Doing more. Gary Sanchez is playing in his 2nd rehab game with the Rail Riders tonight. Yesterday, he caught 7 innings and had a home run. He had 4 at-bats yesterday. He is 0 for 2 this evening as DH. Tomorrow, the Yankees will decide exactly what direction they want to go, but expect him to play about a week of games before returning to the team, but certainly making significant progress is Sanchez.
Meredith, how about the latest on Judge?
Judge spoke in the clubhouse today, Michael, and he said there's still pain in that wrist. Pain when you touch it, also pain when he's trying to rotate that wrist as if he were going to swing. So no significant progress, but did say it's feeling a little bit better day by day. Exactly what that means as far as a return, well, that remains to be seen. He has not done any real baseball activity yet, with the exception of playing catch a little bit and tracking balls in the outfield.
Now, he had also said on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being the worst pain, GMC scoreboard 1-0 White Sox, that he was a 5 and now he's a 4. But is it somewhat concerning that it's sore to the touch?
You know what? It's just concerning he hasn't been able to swing a bat at all. And, you got to understand that you lose strength in your hands, and that's what hitters use. So it's going to take him a while when he gets back to swinging the bat, and that's the key, is to get him a couple weeks of games before they really matter.
And Paul, Judge said he believes that he is going to be back this season. It hasn't even entered his mind that he won't be. And I actually asked him, if this thing doesn't heal on its own, is there anything else that they can do? And he said surgery has never been discussed when it came to this injury. It's more a matter of pain tolerance. And they told him that it does not need to be completely healed for him to be playing in games.
Never heard that before. A 5 and a 4?
He was trying to describe the pain and saying if 2 weeks ago it was a 5, it's probably about a 4 now. So it's been improving slowly, but it has been improving a little bit.
It's kind of how I feel when I look in the mirror in the morning. I used to be a 5, now I'm a 4.
I think you used to be an 8. Now you're a 4, but you used to be an 8.
HD's taking us down all a couple levels, believe me.
2-2. Nub foul.
And Michael, there is some encouraging news when it comes to Didi Gregorius. He was out on the field, clearly taking some ground balls, but no lateral movement there or side-to-side movement. More just hit straight at him. Aaron Boone said he could begin running as soon as tomorrow. Still feels a little something in that heel, but nothing that Didi said he can't play on. Whether or not he'll require a couple rehab games, that remains to be seen.
Boy, when you consider the 3 names that Meredith just talked about, those are 3 of the Yankee stars, and they're not in the lineup. And again, you don't make excuses, but where is the replacement for Aaron Judge? If you had a replacement for Aaron Judge, he'd be playing. He wouldn't be on the bench. It's hard to approximate that kind of production. And although Austin Romine's done very well behind the plate, he's not the power and production guy that Gary Sanchez is. And Didi Gregorius is having a phenomenal year.
Austin Romine, in a lot of ways, has been a savior, having a career year back there.
Good at bat for Gleyber Torres. He works a walk against Shields. Well, this is what's missing. Guys on the DL, 26 homers, 61 ribbies for Judge, 22 and 74 for Gregorius. And although Sanchez had an under 200 batting average, still 14 homers and 42 ribbies. And they could use all 3 back. So that'll bring up Greg Bird. Fly ball to deep right. That was in the 2nd inning. And there's a strike. So Bird's 0 for his last 18 and 7 for his last 68, hitting 198.
You said that was a good at bat by Torres, and it was. And it's an important inning that you put some pressure on Shields. I mean, it seems like all the pressure has been on the Yankees tonight. 60 pitches, really nothing entering the 5th inning.
One and one.
Yeah, the offensive approach has kind of played into Shields' hands. And we noted he's one of the lower levels of first pitch strike throwers. And we've seen a lot of early swings from the Yankee lineup up and down. That's why he only has 61 pitches.
Now, in baseball, you always hear the term, you can't try too hard, because that actually plays against you. But do you want to see anger out of Bird at the plate where he wants to just crush the baseball?
Yeah, not anger. You just want to see some emotion. You want to see something that, you know, that there's a little hop in your step. I mean, you want to see winning baseball, and you get that by intensity. But, you know, to fake it, it doesn't help anybody either. I think everybody's wired a little bit different.
Agreed. That's not in his DNA. Now, we did mention before, I mean, Greg Bird's a great guy. I love him. I mean, I think you pull for him. You want to see him do well. You know the talent's there. But sometimes there's personalities as a manager. Which guys need a little kick in the behind? Which guys need a pat on the back? And
2-1. And I didn't mean that he should be, you know, throwing things or channeling you like you did in the past, but just, do you go up there with an anger, not showing an anger, but just ticked off at the world?
You know what? I don't really know how to explain it other than, you know, every single at bat has to become like this battle between you and a pitcher. It's just, and you got to realize now that, you know, what your manager has said, that I'm with him, this and that, all of a sudden has started to change a little bit by putting Voit in the lineup against some right-handed pitching.
Yeah,
so
sense of urgency. Yeah, I think the competition, you mentioned it last night, Paul, that might be the motivating factor.
Right.
Hey, by the way, this guy's here, and Luke Voigt's looking for more at-bats, and sometimes just that competition can be the motivating factor.
There he is, literally looking over Bird's shoulder. Lined right at Davidson. He turns it into a double play.
Yeah, but again, I mean, that's lined, Michael, but I mean, weight and balance way out on his front foot, kind of around the ball. He is just not right offensively right now. You know, this ball's up in the strike zone, good pitch to hit. Look, all weight's out in front, and he's coming around the baseball instead of kind of driving it. And that's a mechanical thing, and that's kind of just dragging the bat through the strike zone. The first baseman almost has to wait for that line drive to get there. And, you know, you're so used to seeing that beautiful swing. And right now, you know, it's just not a powerful swing right now, and it has to do with his mechanics.
And the classic out in front of the off-speed stuff and late on the fastball. So timing, I mean, Paul, you can speak better to that than me, but as a pitcher, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
That's how I tried to make hitters look. Out in front of the changeup or off-speed stuff, and then late on the heater.
2-0 count on Romine, who singled to left field, leading off the third. And as David mentioned, what a job he's done filling in for Sanchez, both behind the plate and at the plate.
Back to Bird. I mean, as Coney said, I mean, you root for the guy because, you know, you see what he means in this lineup. He balances this lineup if he's right as a left-handed hitter. And, you know, he knows it. Everybody knows it. But is there a magic wand you can wake up and make it happen? And when you're struggling, you just don't see the end.
An easy guy to pull for. He's been through so much. The injuries, much maligned.
And I think that, I know that Boone is really stuck by him, but at this point, you got to win games and you got to put your best lineup out there. And if he's going to continue to struggle, you're going to see more of Luke Voit.
That's well said, Michael. It's survival of the fittest. And the bottom line is that man has a responsibility to put the best lineup out there.
Yeah.
So here's Torreyes. Romine walks to third. Walk against Shields, and there's a strike to Torreyes, who struck out in the third. 1-5-0 for the White Sox, 0-1-2 for the Yankees. So they had 3 hits last night in 9 innings, and now 1 hit tonight in 4 2/3. Way outside. One 1-0 White Sox on the Garcia double in the 5th. 2-1 with Gardner on deck. Two and two.
I like these comfortable silences in the booth. I feel good with you guys up here.
I was just looking at that. I'm just like, you know, he's not going to give in to Torreyes going in with a slider. But you know what? I didn't even say it, Coney.
No, you know, just watch the game. You know? I think some of the fans at home are probably, thank God they shut up for a minute.
And the 2-2. Fouled off into the seats. Second game of this 3-game set. Torreyes, the number 9 batter in the Yankee order. Nevin does not make the play cleanly, but recovers.
Tell you what, third base coaches and first, it really amazes me that they barehanded. You don't realize the spin on the baseball. It hurts. It hurts to barehand a ball that's batted at you.
Soft ground ball. Anderson charges, fires to first, and the scoop by Davidson to end the inning. No runs, couple of walks, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 6th, 1-0 Sox. Season game, plus you get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. All right, we go to the 6th inning. Yankee offense stalled against James Shields as the White Sox lead this one 1-0. Narvaez will lead off against Lance Lynn, beginning his 6th inning of work.
A lot of pressure on Lynn to keep them where they are. Offense just spinning their tires right now, not putting any pressure, scoring against the White Sox.
Jonathan Holder is up. Now Narvaez is seeing significant time because Wellington Castillo began serving an 80-game PED suspension on May 24th. So the GM of the White Sox, Rick Hahn, said that Narvaez has stepped up his game. It's been a bit of a bright side of a lousy situation. Probably never sees so many at-bats if not for the PD suspension of Castillo, so he's making the most of it.
There's something you haven't seen much of, breaking ball. And you see how much Narvaez was out in front, just buckled him. You get so ingrained in watching that fastball, either cutting in or sinking away, but a good curveball right there.
Yeah, that's the one Al Leiter was talking about.
Fly ball left field. Into the corner is Gardner, and he makes the play.
It's back-to-back, another breaking ball. Not as good. Narvaez stays on this one, but you see out on that front foot a little bit. Drives it, but not enough behind it to get it out of here. Brett Gardner cruises over. This is where every once in a while, Coney, you think, you know, he's really tied him up with that sinker in all night. You know, if it continues to work, just keep throwing it until Anderson shows that he can hit that pitch.
I agree, especially with his profile as a free swinger. You have to know that as a pitcher, which batters will chase.
Fly ball left field. 2 down. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Heineken. Open your world. And by your local Tri-Acura dealer. So 2 down. And that'll bring up Moncada. Moncada, it was shocking to the baseball world. Red Sox signed him in March of 2015 for $31.5 million. Now he's from Cuba, but his defection was not the harrowing tale that you always hear about Cuban players coming to the States. In 2014, he was granted a release from the Cuban team, and the government issued him a visa and a passport to leave. So he moved from Ecuador to Guatemala and then to the United States. Baseball America in 2016 rated him as the 3rd prospect in baseball behind Corey Seager and Byron Buxton, and the next year he was number 2 behind Andrew Benintendi. And he finally got his chance in the big leagues when the White Sox traded Todd Frazier to the Yankees in July. He was called up to replace Frazier. That was in July of 2017. 1-2. Ripped up the middle. Base hit. I'll tell you what, David, you could see, you know, things that concern them, but when he hits the ball, he hits it so hard. We saw that ground ball double last night that almost got into the gap.
Yes, he definitely is extremely talented young man. Speed and power. He can fly as well. Top level speed. He was ranked well ahead of Gleyber Torres when they both were coming up through the minor leagues. About the same age at the same time. You put it this way, if he was available and he was in the Cleveland organization or in the Chicago organization when Brian Cashman made the trade with the Cubs to send Aroldis Chapman there, the choice was Moncada or Torres. They probably would have chosen Moncada at that point based on his skill level. Still may work out that way. It's just Gleyber Torres has broke it in with such a bang and offensively seems to have a much better idea at the plate currently. A long way to go in both of their young careers. Moncada, a switch hitter with speed.
And Moncada's 23 and Gleyber's 21.
Well, he's the guy that brought Chris Sale to Boston. He was the one, among others, but he was the headliner.
Well, that shows you how much the Red Sox wanted Sale and how valuable Sale was, because, as David's saying, this guy was considered the cream of the crop of prospects, and they paid him a lot of money. But that's how much they wanted Sale. We also gave up Michael Kopech, who's now made his way to the big leagues and pitched well in 2 starts.
Yeah, Kopech is a frontline talent.
Two and two. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first. Top of the 6th. Grounded and past a diving Andujar into left field. Moncada stops at second. So a base hit for Engel. And that is going to do it for Lance Lynn. So with Sanchez due up, Aaron Boone is going to take the ball from Lynn. Yankees trail 1-0. They're trying to hold it right here. What a 1978. Today's his birthday. Amazingly, Ron Guidry's 68 years old. Well, he was derailed by arm problems and had to retire early, but he was a Hall of Fame pitcher in the time that he has. with the Yankees. So happy birthday to Ron Guidry.
Louisiana Lightning.
And also happy birthday to Lou Piniella. He's 75 today.
Uncle Lou, 75 today.
75, huh?
Wow.
So here's Holder.
Just love watching Ron Guidry's delivery, man. He got every ounce of his.
Yeah. Probably weighed 150 pounds back then.
I mean, you talk about a full total body move to home plate. He got everything into it. Then a little shred afterwards, a little bounce in the step.
And David, you gotten an opportunity to really get to know him. What a guy. What a really nice man.
The best. Still very involved in the organization. Good to see him every spring. Lance Lynn did his job. 1 run on the board.
Well, he pitched out of a few jams, and he pitched well. And he went to his curveball the last couple innings. And you would expect when you give up 1 run and 5+ that you would come out with a lead, but not tonight.
Also not really helped by his defense. You got the 2 errors, and you know, and Duhar didn't get to a ball that was hit just slightly to his left. And those 2 errors made him throw more pitches, so that's why his pitch count was where it is. And that's a base hit to center field off the bat of Sanchez. Moncada is coming home. The throw goes to third. It's cut off by Torres. And Sanchez moves to second. It's 2-0 White Sox.
These are the big hits. These are the ones that really bury. As a reliever, you come in, you've got to shut the door. Change up in the strike zone. Just go right back at him.
It's the life of a relief pitcher. You come in, you inherit runners. There is no margin for error, especially in this situation.
Fouled away. Fly ball, left field, long run for Gardner. It's going to fall in for a base hit. And that'll score 2 runs, a big hit for Delmonico, and it's 4-0 White Sox. Crowd not happy.
He got beat with a changeup, and then he got beat by jamming him with a fastball. So ball just out over the plate enough. And squirted over to the left field. Brett Gardner no chance anywhere.
Absolute backbreaker for the Yankees, and 3 earned runs now charged to Lance Lynn. Closed the book on him for the night. 1 of the earned runs is charged to Holder. So 0-2 on Garcia.
Now, one thing that you notice when those 2 runs scored and that ball dropped into left field, these are big games for the White Sox. They're not just phoning it in. They're playing better than their record for the season would indicate, and every single one of them is into it. So the Yankees are not getting a team that's going to lie down and let them win. They're just not. And it says a lot about that guy keeping his team engaged. High fly ball center field. Hicks is there, but a rough inning for the Yankees. All with 2 outs. 4 straight hits by the White Sox result in 3 more runs. It's 4-0 Chicago. Transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So on a hot, humid Tuesday evening here in the Bronx, Yankees are down 4-0. They've been 1 hit through 5 innings by James Shields. He of the 5-15 record, 4.59 ERA. Top of the order, Gardner leads off. Shows bunt, takes outside 1-0.
Well, the Yankees now in a position to where they must answer back.
Now, your scouting report, Coney, said that Shields gives up a lot of home runs, and all of a sudden you're down late in the game. You start to think that you're probably going to need one to get you back into this game.
There's a bunt. Will it stay fair? Nope, kicks foul.
Have not had the ability to string together hits, only having 1 tonight. So you're going to need the long ball. They're very capable of doing that. So
it's a nice idea right there by Brett Gardner to try to get Shields in the stretch. And this would have worked. It just stayed fair. Just got on the dirt a little too quickly.
Yeah, the cut of the grass, if that's still got a little speed on it, just kicks it foul.
Now, the Yankees only 1 hit and 3 walks, just 4 base runners, but this is the bottom of the 6th, and now you talk about that third time through the order. It's just now happening. Brett Gardner's third at-bat of the game.
Grounded foul. Gardner with a fly ball to left and a strikeout in his first 2 at-bats. Just 1 hit for the Yankees. Austin Romine's single leading off the 3rd. 3 Yankees have walked.
Yankees just 3 hits last night in the entire game, and just 1 tonight. So 4 hits in their last 15 or so innings.
1-2. 2-2. Yankees have actually committed more errors than they have hits tonight, and last night they had the same amount of errors as they had hits. So these have not been 2 of the cleanest games you'll ever see. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Cutting over is Garcia, he can't get there. It's going to go to the wall. Will Gardner go for 3? He rounds second. He's going for 3, and it's a leadoff triple.
You see Brett Gardner on a hot night once you get to third base, but boy, now you've got a little life. Made up his mind halfway around first base that he saw that this was not going to be fielded. Got to the wall. You know, when the play's in front of you as a base runner, you don't even use the third base coach. Right there, he's already made up his mind. He's going to third.
It's a perfect play to get a crowd into it, right? The triple, still one of the most exciting plays.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton. Popped up. Moncada will make the play for the first out. He's starting to struggle now. 0 for 3 tonight, 5 for his last 35.
Well, the good news is every time he struggles, he comes back even stronger. But right now, you have to get on the board. And you see Shields drop down, but good pitch to hit. It's supposed to be a sinker ball right there. Just got under it.
You see Shields drop down and throw a fastball. He almost got a little upshoot action on that. You're looking for the sinker.
Here's Aaron Hicks. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, said Mark Carlson. One. Hicks walked in the first and hit a hard shot right down the first base line, but Davidson was playing on the line, took away a double. So Hicks is 0 for 1.
Yeah, I'm really admiring Shields' effort out there. Boy, he's throwing everything in the kitchen sink at you. Different arm angles. Everything he's got left at 36 years old in his 400th career start. He's throwing it at you.
Two and 1, and Duhar's on deck.
The veteran guy had a solid career, fallen on hard times the last couple of years. Starting to change arm angles, throw sidearm. The throwback style.
Popped up. That will not get a run in. Sanchez makes the play, and the crowd showing its displeasure. That's going to bring up Andujar. A ground ball is short and a fly ball is center.
Change up again. Ball up in the strike zone. Really good pitch to hit. You see bat head just under it. Pops it straight up. Oh, what a horrible feeling, Coney. I still get sick over those. Man on third base, just put the ball in play, knock him in.
Here's Andujar, who's gotten a lot of spark plug sort of hits for the Yankees this year. Big spot for him as he takes a strike. And the Yankees would like to answer back with something after the White Sox 3 spot in the top of the inning. Gardner leads off with a triple. You have the number 2 and 3 hitters coming up and 2 pop-ups. Leaves it to Andujar. There it is, a high fly ball left field. It is gone. See ya. Into the bleachers. A 2-run home run by Andujar. Yankees on the board, 4-2.
To see all the pressure put on the young fellas, but boy, I read they're stepping up. And this ball, again, he missed up in the strike zone. Michael, easy call for you there, huh?
That was gone.
Right off the bat, a bullet, number 22.
He's been doing it all year. He just steps up.
Wow. I'll tell you what. That's a big at bat right there for the Yankees. I mean, you're looking at a leadoff triple, not even scoring a run, and boom, now you're back in the game, 4-2. A big 2-out home run.
Into the bleachers. 1-0 to Voit. 1-1.
That's how they do it. 1 swing, 2 runs.
You've seen kind of a totally different approach from Voit tonight. He looked really trying to pull the ball. Where last night you saw him against the left-hander, Rodon trying to hit the ball to right center. Really back-legging and trying to pull the ball tonight off of Shields.
One and two.
You could watch this over and over and over. Great sound. Shields, you see, he knew what happened. Didn't even have to watch it.
Ended up about 421 feet away.
Two and two. Here it is, StatCast AI, powered by AWS. 421, exit velocity of just a smidge under 106. 22 homers, 74 ribbies. That's a line drive into left center field, a base hit for Voit. Engel cuts the ball off, and Voit picks up a 2-out single. That's a 6-game hitting streak for him.
Sorry, Paul. Michael, that's a good adjustment right there. You know, he was out in front, a couple balls kind of pulling off, and he stayed on a little bit longer there, drove the ball to left center. So you see he can adjust a little bit, a little more closed, kind of a hanging slider. Not a bad pitch, really, but he stayed with it. See, wait back a little bit longer and threw the baseball. Well, you can tell by his swing, a lot of power, a lot of extension in this swing.
Don Cooper, the pitching coach, to talk with James Shields. You know, it was an Andujar who picked up the big hit, but you noted, Paul, the pitches of Stanton and Hicks are eminently hittable. They just missed them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He has missed up in the strike zone this inning. couple of them missed by Stanton there, and then by Hicks. But Andujar, he got a ball up in the stone and did not miss it. And if you're Stanton, you got to realize, you know, I've got at least one more at bat. And, you know, that's going to be the important one coming down the stretch here.
So now Torres steps in with a chance to tie the game.
Well, you really got to fight the urge here if you're Torres to get real big and try to pull everything. He is able, as we saw last night, 444 feet dead center. He stays on the ball. Where as a hitter, especially a young hitter, Coney, that, you know, you start hearing the crowd, you know what they want, you know it, and you really have to fight it and not try to do too much.
Two 2-0.
Good sign right there. Good take. Right to your point, Paul. Easy to swing at that pitch if you're getting overly aggressive, trying to do too much. In the driver's seat now, 2-0.
(3-0).
No doubt, a long, hot night for James Shields, who's put everything into every pitch tonight. Really been impressive.
And really 3 good takes there by Gleyber Torres as he works a walk and passes the baton to Greg Bird.
I mean, obviously taking their time in the White Sox dugout, waiting for the lefty to get ready.
Well, here comes Rick Renteria. He's going to take the ball from Shields, and Shields will leave with a 4-2 lead. Audi batting practice today, and the Chevy Yankees pregame right here on Yes and streaming on Fox Sports Go. So James Shields pitching great through 5, but he has left runners on first and second with 2 outs here in the 6th. And the White Sox have 3 lefties in the bullpen. They go to Jace Fry. This will be his 48th game, 59 strikeouts in 41 1/3 innings. And you've told me this a lot, Paul. Sometimes to get out of a slump, it's good to face a lefty because you have to do everything right and stay in there.
Yeah, you really worry about, you know, being quick and keeping that front shoulder in. And right here is a great time to stay up the middle, the left center field, not worried about pulling one in the seats. If it happens, it happened.
First and second. And the breaking ball's in there for a strike. 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Yeah, tough pitch right there to look for. That ball looked like it was up in the strike zone, if anything.
Yeah, borderline. Got the call.
That one is ripped to right field. Garcia on the run, and he'll make the play on the warning track. Bird hit it hard, but to no avail. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 3 hits, and Duhar's 2-run home run, and Shields watches the final out. Yankees Baseball on Gas is brought to you in part by Ram Trucks, built to serve, by People's United Bank. Managers like options, so do checking account customers. People's United Bank, member FDIC, and by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on all models. Well, Greg Bird gave it a ride, but Garcia was there for the final out. Holder's still in there for the Yankees. They'll face Palka. And there's a strike to start the 7th.
Yeah, just to get ahead of the curve here a little bit. Certainly Britton was warming up. It's a spot for him, especially with the lefty Polka up here leading off. But Boone choosing to stay with Holder.
Cadillac scoreboard 4-2. White Sox lead.
I loved it the other night watching him in Baltimore. You know, throw more than 1 inning. I think that's the type of guy he could be, especially late in the season, when you get Chapman back.
And Palka strikes out. Well, the Red Sox and the Marlins in the 8th inning now tied at 4.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, get back to that Greg and Bird at bat. It's just like this game mentally will absolutely bury you. I mean, it's just like he can't catch a break. When he hits the ball hard, it's caught. When he has a bad at bat, it's caught. And it's just you got to realize it at some point. Something good's going to happen. But boy, when you're going through these times, it's hard to believe that.
Davidson pops it up.
Catch it with 2 hands. Everything's going wrong.
Well, it's worth noting that the Yankees got Shields out of the game, so what are they dealing with in terms of the White Sox bullpen? Well, they have the 10th worst ERA in the American League, 4.42. They're 10th in opponents' batting average against. They're 12th in saves. They're 12th in inherited runners scored. And they're 13th in innings pitched, so the starters haven't given them length. It's not a strong point for the White Sox. See how they will try to get these final 9 outs. Narvaez takes a strike from Holder. And there's Minaya.
Saw him last night featuring a mid-90s fastball.
Top of the 7th inning, it's 4-2 White Sox. And the 0-1. Ground ball second base. Charging is Torres. And a nice easy 1-2-3 inning for Jonathan Holder and the Yankees. At the end of 6.5 innings of play here at the stadium, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. The White Sox lead the Yankees 4-2. But we're going to stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined by his family. United States Army Private First Class Alfred Schwartz from the Bronx, who served in World War II. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Local Nissan dealer, 4-9-0, leading 2-4-2. Shields went 5 2/3. Same with Lynn. Big hit for Nicky Delmonico, a 2-run single. Big hit for Andujar, a 2-run home run. Romine leads off. And the first pitch is a strike from Fry. Romine singled and walked. 1-1.
I'll give you a little update, Michael. I don't know if Bob Lorenz gave it, but Jonathan Loaizaga had a nice outing again tonight in his third rehab start.
Ground ball third base. Sanchez makes the play.
Down in Trenton, according to John Moses, one of the broadcasters down there in Trenton. 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 solo home run, 58 pitches, 42 strikes. Stuff was legit again in the mid-90s with his velocity. So good news for Jonathan Loaizaga, and on target for a September return. A little depth for the Yankees.
Cadillac scoreboard 4-2. White Sox over the Yanks. Here's Torreyes. He's barely breaking the speed limit as keeps dropping in slow curveballs. That was a ball, though, a little bit high. One and one. Torreyes tonight is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Wow, look at the difference in velocity. So 95 with the fastball. He's throwing breaking balls that we've had at 75, 76. Two and two. Ninth round pick in 2011 by Oakland out of high school. Chose to attend Oregon State. Third round pick for the White Sox in 2014. Swing and a miss as Torreyes down on strikes. Another update from the studio. Here's Bob Lorenz. Remember, the Red Sox lost 3 in a row to the Tampa Bay Rays. They had last night off, and now the Marlins have come back to tie them. Here's Brett Gardner. His speed from home to third on the triple leading off the 6th inning. The fastest triple by a Yankee since StatCast started keeping those kind of things. So he was flying. From the bottom of the 7th inning, it's 4-2 Chicago. One and one.
Courtney, this is kind of the old school lefty with the big breaking ball that kind of freezes lefties, but he still throws mid-90s. Tough at bat from the left side.
I mean, this is a modern day version of a guy that 10, 20 years ago would have been in the rotation. A lefty that can throw that hard with that kind of breaking stuff. That's starter stuff. Nowadays, going to be a specialist.
2-2, and Gardner did not like that call.
I think as a hitter, you look back once in a while and watch the way a ball is caught, and you know, just you don't visualize it was a strike. That's what happened there.
Three and two. Gardner gets on. That brings up Stanton as the tying run here in the bottom of the 7th. David Robertson up. 3-2. Tap to short. Anderson will get Gardner for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Fry has come on and retired all 4 Yankees that he's faced. We go to the 8th, 4-2 White Sox. Great show, homegrown, the path to pinstripes, and see how the Rail Riders' new young prospects are leading their team's push toward a playoff spot. That's tonight, following Yankees coverage tonight, only on Yes. And there's a strike to Anderson. As Holder still in there. Hyundai scoreboard, top of the 8th inning, 4-2 White Sox. Bottom third of the order for Chicago, Anderson, Moncada, and Engel. That one is ripped to left field, but right there is Gardner. He'll make the play. One away.
A lot of breaking balls, ball off the end of the bat. Holder's been sharp since he came in out of the bullpen, gave up a couple hits, but then all of a sudden, the last inning and into this inning, another quick out.
Moncada takes outside. You can see the theory that both Boone and Rothschild have. Fly ball, left field, Gardner's there. They are loath to use their high leverage relievers in games where they're trailing. We saw last night with A.J. Cole, and although Jonathan Holder has certainly done a good job for the Yankees, he's not Robertson, Betances, Britton, and they just don't like to bring those guys in unless they're leading in the game. And so far, Holder's in the 2 innings after he gave it up in the 6th in relief of Lynn. He's done the job. He's retired the last 6 in a row.
It's an excellent point, Michael, and that's really the big debate nowadays. When to use your relievers. There's so many of them down there, and there's a lot of theories. And the highest leverage spot in this game was when Holder entered the game. The 1.86 ranking on the leverage. First and second, relieving Lance Lynn, the starter. In other words, it's much easier for any relief pitcher to start a clean inning. But to come into an inning first and second and get out of that jam, even though there was 2 outs, you think about average leverage as a ranking, just to give context to that, as a 1.0. When Holder entered the game, it was 1.86. So the new school theory would be to use your best asset available in that high leverage spot.
Fly ball left field, so Gardner's going to make all 3 putouts as Holder has retired 7 in a row. Back to the Yankee offense as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Top postseason spot. Coverage begins at 8, presented by Etihad Airways right here on Yes.
I think a quick
CFC is a good team.
Go to quick little shot to Columbus. Me and you, I can show you where I grew up. Where we used to play together in the background. Oh.
Yeah. We got to get back in time for Sunday's game, though.
It's all right. I'll show you where I held hands with Neville for the first time. All that kind of stuff.
Wow.
You know?
And you've been holding hands ever since.
I was only 5. I forgot how.
New pitcher is Juan Minaya. Hyundai scoreboard 4-2. White Sox over the Yankees. And the Yankees have eyes. They could look up at that scoreboard in right center field and see that in the bottom of the 8th inning at Fenway Park, the Marlins now lead the Red Sox 6-4. Not quite a full moon. Pitch outside to Stanton.
I think that moon was balancing on the top of the Delta sign out there in Yankee Stadium.
One and two. Stanton stuck on 299 home runs. Base hit, a bullet through the right side for Stanton. Leadoff single here in the 8th.
Well, I love to see even Stanton, the power hitters, make adjustments. It's, you know, it's not home run derby. I mean, you're down 2 runs, take a ball the other way. Look, that front shoulder just stays there. It's a pitch that really can't be pulled. Just laces it to right field. Good start for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 8th.
That was 112 miles an hour off the bat.
Wow.
That'll bring up Aaron Hicks as the tying run. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Sanchez in on the grass at third for Hicks. 3 infielders on the right side. Outfield deep. Pitches high. 1-0. Center fielder Engel shades slightly toward right center. The Stanton single, the Yankees' 5th hit of the night. Mania deals. 2-0.
This is a tough pitch to really let it go if you're Aaron Hicks. And what I mean, it's 2-0. Sure, you look fastball, but you haven't seen anything from Mania even close to the strike zone. So, you know, you really haven't picked up anything around there to swing at.
How you feeling about this comeback, Paulie?
You know what? I still feel like you're one long ball away. I think it's gonna, you know, if you get that next big home run, you're gonna win this game. They have not been able to string together a lot of hits tonight.
Reno.
Well, I just finished my Starbucks quad shot. Should I get another one?
I got a little extra here if you're ready to go. Renteria already checking the bullpen. Ready. Since Mania is struggling with the strike zone.
There's a strike. Hicks thought it was ball 4.
A pretty good pitch, I thought. Borderline, maybe just catching the black. Oh, here we go. We'll see it right here. Ooh. Is the black part of the plate?
Wasn't supposed to be.
3-2 on Hicks. And the 3-2. Drill to right field. Going back Garcia. Turning. Looking. See ya. Tie game.
Where's the runner, folks? Get that double shot. Coney needs it for a huge home run. Sitting on a fastball after he saw a couple. Tell you what, you've had some no-doubters tonight, Michael, on your calls. And this one again. Look down, 3-2. Renteria, looked like you're a pitch late, but tie game.
22nd home run for Hicks. A big 2-run job. He swings, and when it lands, it's a 4-4 game. White Sox going to the bullpen, bottom of the 8th.
He finished 3-2 fastball, supposed to be in. It was there, but it didn't quite make it to the catcher's glove. Aaron Hicks ties it up with a huge 2-run homer. Look at Stevie. Stevie knows it. That's a big pickup for the Yankees, man. It just seems like they have been dead offensively. A couple big home runs tonight, and you know, you got to remember there was adjustment before that where Stanton went the other way to put Hicks up there. A 2-run homer could tie the game.
Dylan Covey, the new pitcher, deals outside. You know, there's been a narrative of late that, well, the Yankees aren't having fun. There's no energy. And if you take a look at that dugout after that home run, they look like they were having a blast. And, you know, no less an authority than a Hall of Famer, one of the best pitchers of all time, Pedro Martinez, said the team looks flat. But my point has been that they're not hitting. And when you don't hit, you can't really have fun. And they're not a team that's going to steal bases or go first or third a lot. They need home runs. And, again, they look like they were having a great time in the dugout just then. So here's a team that looks like it's enjoying itself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, everybody realizes the importance of games. And, you know, it's just not the teammate. Look at the coaches, too. I mean, when you're all in, you're all in.
Kind of the classic question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Exactly.
I never have figured that out. Can somebody help me with that one?
I remember having team meetings where, even back to my Mets days, where you know, some of the regular guys would get on, hey, there's no chatter on the bench, we need some life. And the comeback was always, well, do something. Give us something to cheer about.
Score some runs. Yeah. Pitchers always want offense. Players always want good pitching.
Count 1-1 on Voit. I mean, big hits, big moments, gets a team and a crowd jacked up. Otherwise, you look like you're just like sloughing through it.
But your point is well taken and well stated, Michael. I mean, this is how the Yankees score. The White Sox have 9 hits, and we saw how they scored and kind of bunched some hits even last night. And the Yankees 2 swings, 4 runs. This is how they do it.
I'd like to see Lance Lynn get off the hook. He threw the ball too well tonight to deserve a loss. So now this game will be decided between the bullpens. If you're Aaron Boone, Larry Rothschild, I think you'll take that challenge and go with it.
And meanwhile, bottom of the 8th inning, Marlins 6, Red Sox 4. Here's Gleyber Torres. He has walked twice and lined out to third.
I think it was the egg. The egg came first.
The egg came first.
But then it's debatable. Where did the egg come from?
Those kind of things confuse me, man. I got to go back to the game here, Cody.
There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Torres. This is the Torres you've been waiting for, Paul.
I remember talking to him in Miami, and just about the same thing. And boy, he's just, you see, still the high leg kick, much more balanced, and there's no, everything is neutral until he picks up the ball. And right there, this is a ball that he can stay with, go the other way. Last night, dead center field. There are pitches that he's going to pull. Such a great swing.
Well, now it's set up for Greg Bird to break out of an 0 for 20 slump in a loud way and give the Yankees the lead. Bottom of the 8th, tie game. And that's over the head of Davidson off his glove. And now a single might give them the lead as Torres will move into scoring position on the E1.
You know, it's funny, the way you call that, Michael, is okay, now it only takes a single. And as a hitter, you do kind of step out and kind of reboot, because with him on first base, you're looking for a pitch to drive, get a ball in the gap, try to drive him in. Now you're looking to just anywhere. You ball away, you want to take away, ball in, you want to pull. Much different hitter when you're looking to score from a guy from second base.
One 1-0 on Bird. Last time up, first and second, Bird drove Garcia deep who made the play, but he hit the ball very well against the left-hander Fry. Betances is ready. He'll pitch the ninth.
Well, if everything evens out in baseball, he'll get a jam shot here.
There's a strike. Well, that was a called strike. It was not a swing, so 1-1. Two and one. Along with Paul O'Neill, David Cohn, and Meredith Moragovitz, I'm Michael Kay. We thank you for spending part of your Tuesday evening with us. We've got an exciting one here. It's a 4-4 game in the bottom of the 8th inning here on Yes. A couple of 2-run home runs have gotten the Yankees back in it. A 2-run blast by Andujar and a 2-run shot by Hicks. 3-1 on Bird.
Saw Neil Walker with a bat on the bench. I would imagine he would be ticketed to pinch hit for Romine. Nobody warming up in the White Sox bullpen.
And the 3-1. Popped it up, shallow left field. Going back is Anderson, and he makes the play and trips over Delmonico and holds on for the final out. But the Yankees have come off the canvas, trailing 4-0 at one point, then 4-2 going into this inning. But this swing by Aaron Hicks has tied the game as we go to the ninth, 4-4. Be for the WB Mason postgame, and join Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry as I bring you highlights and analysis from tonight's game and look ahead to tomorrow's series finale with the White Sox. Plus, you get the thoughts from manager Aaron Boone right here on Yes. Dellin Betances will come on for the Yankees to try to keep it at 4-4. Top of the ninth. Top of the White Sox order. Sanchez takes a strike. And 2. Sanchez has been impressive. He's gotten some big hits. He makes every single play at third. See the numbers on Betances. Speaking of impressive, 94 strikeouts in 53 2/3 innings. 51 base runners in 53 2/3. Swing and a miss.
You come out of the bullpen with a backboard breaking ball, 98 on the outside corner, and then a put away down and in. That's the up and down curveball. When Dellin Betances gets that up and down one going, that's his key with his good fastball.
This is now the 34th consecutive relief appearance with at least one strikeout. As Delmonico rips one into right center, but a nice running play by Stanton for the second out. And he hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the Fast Pitch Speed Analytics, sponsored by Fios by Verizon. So 34 consecutive relief appearances with at least one strikeout. That extends now his American League record. That's the longest streak by a reliever in American League history.
I'll tell you another thing. When you watch Stanton in right field and you're so used to seeing Judge, as big as he is, move well. Stanton moves well in right field. He gets good jumps on the ball.
Good athlete.
.37 2/3 innings, just 13 hits and 3 runs to go along with 64 strikeouts.
I mean, he's on the brink of history, Paulie, when you think about relievers. Came into this game with 94 strikeouts. He's going to go over the 100 mark once again. He'll be the first time ever for a reliever to strike out over 100 batters 5 years in a row. And under 100 innings, obviously.
Wow.
Here are the numbers that David's talking about. So last year, he just made it with 100, and now he's 5 away to make it 5 years in a row. That would be the first reliever in Major League history, as David mentioned. Crowd looking for a strikeout. And how apropos the rhythmic 2-strike clapping, which began Ron Guidry's 18 strikeout game against the then California Angels, and it's Ronnie's 68th birthday today. And all these years later, the crowd still does it with 2 strikes.
Yeah, all these strikeouts are your fault, Gator.
Strike 3, breaking ball inside corner. Garcia didn't like the call, but a 1-2-3 inning for Betances. Well, if the Yankees win this one, it's going to be in walk-off fashion. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Trailed 4-0 going into the bottom of the 6th. It's a 4-4 game, and in Boston, it is 6-6 now in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the Red Sox have come back to tie it. Dylan Covey is still in there for the White Sox. He'll face Romine, Torreyes, and Gardner. Remember, Neil Walker is lurking as a pinch hitter. Romine 1 for 2 with a walk. Right-hander deals, and there's a strike. 0-1. A 2-run home run by Andujar gave the Yankees some life. Rondon takes over at shortstop. Kind of woke up the Yankees, woke up the crowd, and then Hicks with the 2-run home run in the 8th inning tied the game. A jolt of electricity. Much needed. Grounded foul. And just like that, the Red Sox now have moved ahead of the Marlins 7-6. Zach Britton up in case there's a 10th inning. Swing and a miss. Romine down on strikes. So now Neil Walker will pinch hit for Torres.
I'm gonna change my vote, Paulie. I think the chicken came first.
You're going over that over and over.
So Walker will face Kobe.
Well, Led Zeppelin walk-up music for Neil Walker there.
Also, if you took a look in the dugout when Hicks hit the home run, Walker's doing a very funky dance, so he's got music in his head, so maybe he's got the rhythm to hit one out here.
You noticed that?
Oh, did you notice it? We'll show you. He was kind of a retro sort of dance.
Must have heard Pedro.
Yeah, trying to show him up there on the bench.
High fly ball, right field. Garcia back. That'll do it. See ya. Yankees win 5-4. Now he could dance again.
The man had the dance. You don't know how hard this is. Step up as a pinch hitter and just launch one. Big win for the Yankees. Boy, a couple, 3 home runs. Sends everybody home happy. Michael, some games make you feel a little bit better than others, and this one all came at the end of the night. And boy, what a great comeback for the Yankees, and then a walk-off from a pitch hitter who's done a lot for the Yankees recently with Walker.
So a Walker-off win with the pinch hit home run. That's his second walk-off home run in his career. The other one with Pittsburgh on opening day in 2014. And Meredith Moragovich talks to Neil on the field.
Thank you, Michael. Neil, did you have your mind made up that you were going to be aggressive early when you stepped to the plate?
Yeah, you know, it's hot out tonight. It's hot out tonight.
Delayed reaction.
You know, I saw him attack Greg in the inning before with a lot of fastballs, and I just wanted to make sure I was ready for him.
You clearly made it look easy, but how difficult is it to step to the plate in that situation and produce?
You try to keep it as simple as possible. You try to keep it as simple as possible and keep the swing short, and that was about a perfect scenario right there.
Can you describe how personally satisfying it is to walk off at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. This is, you know, it was a slow night for us, but we ended really, really well, and you know, we're grinding a little bit right now, but we know we got a lot better baseball to play in front of us.
Neil, thanks for the time.
You got it. Thank you.
Michael, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, thank you, Meredith. So he gets cooled down on this hot night And this is how he sends everybody home. This is how the Yankees score. This is how they win games. Home runs. A couple of 2-run shots, tie it. And this one sends everybody home happy. A pinch hit. Neil Walker-off home run. And everybody liked what they saw. And why wouldn't they? For a while, it looked like another tough one for the Yankees, but the home run bailed them out. And this is how the dugout reacted. They seem like they're enjoying themselves. Look like they're having some fun. And when you win games like that, that's exactly how you're going to feel. We have so much more to come from the stadium. A heart-thumping, exhilarating, come-from-behind, home run-led win by the Yankees. We'll be back.